Defense news in a nutshell, your fortnightly guide to all that's happening in MINDEF and the SAF in under 5 minutes. Here's what happened from the 12th of September to the 2nd of October. Defense ministers from ASEAN and the United States met in Honolulu, Hawaii for the second ASEAN-US Defense Ministers informal meeting and discussed ways in which they can partner to respond to natural disasters, tackle maritime security issues, and fight terrorism.
Every year we meet, the situation and the threat from extremist terrorism rises. And by that I mean, compared to say a year or even 2 years ago, they're more organized, they're more networked, they're more clear in their articulation of what they want to achieve.
Noting how Southeast Asian fighters returning to the region could still be a threat should ISIS be dismembered in Iraq and Syria, Dr. Ng stressed the need for ASEAN states to enhance their collective capability in tackling the long-term threat of terrorism. Dr. Ng also shared Singapore's efforts in facilitating information sharing among the countries involved in the Malacca Straits Patrol through its Information Fusion Center. He called for the Code of Unplanned Encounters at Sea to be expanded to include more countries and maritime stakeholders so as to reduce the risk of misunderstanding and miscalculations. The US's continued engagement in the region and its active participation in ASEAN Defense Ministers Meeting Plus, or ADMM Plus, was welcomed by the ASEAN Defense Ministers and reflected US commitment to ensuring security and stability in the Asia-Pacific. During his visit to Hawaii, Dr. Ng visited the U.S. Pacific Command at the Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam and met with the Philippine Secretary of National Defense, Delfin Lorenzana. Out at sea, a multinational board and search team interdicts a merchant vessel suspected of smuggling materials related to weapons of mass destruction, or WMD. The vessel is then brought to port where its cargo is isolated for inspection and further action by personnel from Singapore Customs, Singapore Civil Defence Force, and the SAF's Chemical, Biological, Radiological, and Explosives Defence Group. This was the highlight of Exercise Deep Sabre, a multinational Proliferation Security Initiative, or PSI, exercise hosted by Singapore. More than 800 personnel from 21 countries took part in sea and shore activities to promote capacity building, such as tabletop policy simulations, a simulated maritime interdiction, and a port search. In his opening address, Senior Minister of State for Defense Dr. Mohammed Maliki bin Osman emphasized that countries in the region must work together to stop the spread of WMDs.
No one state has the resources and ability to single-handedly address this transnational and multifaceted problem. As a small country located astride key sea lines of communication, Singapore recognizes that we have an important role to play in the common fight against the proliferation of WMDs.
With a land area 4 times the size of Singapore, the Shoalwater Bay Training Area in Queensland, Australia provides realistic and challenging training opportunities for the SAF. This would not have been possible without the strong support from Australia over the past 26 years. Senior Minister of State for Defense Dr. Mohammed Maliki bin Osman said this when he visited SAF troops participating in Exercise Wallaby 2016. The ongoing exercise is conducted from 15 September to 7 November and involves over 4,600 active personnel and operationally ready national servicemen, as well as 300 assets. During the visit, Dr. Maliki was briefed on an air-land integrated strike mission and interacted with NS men from the 54th Singapore Armoured Brigade and the Republic of Singapore Air Force.
This is the 26th year that the SAF has been given the opportunity to continue to train here, and certainly we appreciate all the support that has been given. The bilateral relations, especially defense relations between Singapore and Australia, has been very strong, and we are committed to continue to strengthen that relationship.
Dr. Maliki also thanked the Australian authorities for their continued support for Singapore and the SAF. From an automated system for monitoring and controlling ammunition to wearable devices that keep track of soldiers' vital signs during training. These were some of the IT-enabled prototypes created during the MINDEF Internet of Things, or IoT Challenge. The 2-day hackathon saw 11 shortlisted teams, each comprising a mix of MINDEF SAF personnel and external participants leveraging IoT to enhance diverse operations within MINDEF and the SAF.
The Ministry of Defense is no stranger to harnessing new technologies to improve its processes and operations. Since 2014, MINDEF has organized its annual IT hackathons to crowdsource ideas and to co-create prototypes for mobile applications and data analytics solutions.
The winning project, an unmanned robot that can carry up to 80 kilograms of cargo and deliver them securely. The top 3 proposals will be further developed and assessed to see if they can be implemented in MINDEF and the SAF. For more details on these stories, visit mindef.gov.sg. Now let's check out what's buzzing on our social media channels. The tantalizing fragrance of local delicacies and familiar melodies filled the air at Singapore Day 2016. Log on to Cyber Pioneer's Facebook page and check out the biggest reunion of Singaporeans in the west coast of the United States. With weapons armed and ready, soldiers from the Singapore and Indonesian armies commenced a combined assault against their mission objective in Exercise Safkar Endapura. Held in Bandung, Indonesia, the annual bilateral exercise reaffirms the close and long-standing ties between both countries. Check out the Army's Facebook page to find out more. Well, that's our defense news in a nutshell. Get to know us more through one of our social media channels. This is Mike from Power 98, signing off.